Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
We have some slight connectivity issues again. So, good morning, Simone. How are you? Well, this is unfortunate. Usually at the school, the connection should be fine. Simone, if you can hear me, it's probably a good idea to put your phone on the teacher's desk behind you. I found that to be working for me. In the meantime, I will just say hi to everyone. Hello, Paul. Hello, Yvonne. Glenn, good morning. Hi, Matt from Sydney. Hello, Philip and Dagmar. Nice of you to join us as usual. Hello, Huub, Jasper, Siep, Jose. Hello, hello indeed. And Simone is out. I don't know what's happening with her and her internet connection. There seems to be like an internet gremlin that's just chasing her wherever she goes. It's really unfortunate, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see until she comes back. Just before we spoke before the broadcast, she said she would like to show a little bit more footage of what's happening with our new project in Napo, but so far the progress has not been enough to show you some new substantial stuff compared to last week, so we will show you some new stuff next week. Dag Marion, dag Rudy. Hello, ladies and gents. Nice of you to join us again. And yeah, so the building in Napo, our new project, is going quite fast. Simone is very busy with that, but I will leave it to her to tell you all about that. Salama pagi, Axel. I hope everyone's doing all right. Did you get your shots yet, everyone? Did you all get vaccinated? Because I read in the news that around 14 million Dutch people have been vaccinated so far. I don't know about the Canadians and the Australians. I don't know how well you guys are doing with your vaccination efforts, but so far from what I've seen, the vaccinations in the Netherlands are doing quite well. Hi, Brigitte. Thanks a lot for joining us. I hope everyone can hear and see me fine. I'm seeing on my little dashboard that my internet connection is not the best, but yeah, we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed and see how that goes. So if you get your shots, just let us know. I'm very curious how many, and if you didn't get your shot yet, let me know as well. We got our first shots in. Oh, Dagmar and Philip are fully vaccinated. That's very, very good to know. Great to know, Huub. We're hopeful that with so many people getting their shots, that travel can get, or at least can resume in some fashion, but we'll have to see how that goes. I can only suspect that Simone is trying to find, thanks Brigitte, I can only suspect that Simone is trying to find a better signal than from where she's sitting, although last time we were sitting in that very classroom. Full-time vaccinated. Great. And it looks like Simone is back. All right, let's. Hi.
Yes, and I'm back.
And you sound a lot better too. Or am I speaking too soon? Can you hear me fine, Simone? So I was just explaining to everyone how you have a gremlin chasing you that always disrupts your internet signal for some reason. And when we're sitting together, it doesn't affect you, but now it does. It's really dumb. Okay, good to know, everyone, that you all got your shots in. That's fantastic news. And yeah, let's hope sooner rather than later we can resume travel. Simone. I feel like a news reporter who is like, "Hello, we're live with New York. New York, can you hear me? Come in, New York. Hallo, Jo van Geert. Nice to see you've joined us as well. This is amazing. It looks like Simone and I have to sit together to do these streams because otherwise it just won't work. That seems to be the case. But anyway, without further ado, yeah, well, you can see I've got a nice jungle backdrop. This is not some green screen stuff. I'm actually back on Lembe. We got back to Lembe to pay our staff the little salary that we can pay them for the work that they do here, which is of course very welcome. But that's not why we want to talk to you guys. We actually want to do a little bit of a show and tell. We want to show you the art of Sulawesi. I will cover many different subjects in this presentation, but the reason I'm not focusing just on North Sulawesi, and let's see if Simone is back with us now. The reason I'm not focusing just on North Sulawesi is simply because there's not that much there. So that's why I've decided to make a presentation on all of Sulawesi. Simone, how are you? How's your connection?
I'm here.
Are you?
Up and down, like my mood. Like my mood. Hi, yo.
Hey, Simone. No, you're freezing every time you're connecting.
Sorry. It's
bless you. No, it's not. Let's not scare our viewers.
I think Simone. I'm going.
No, what you need to do, put your phone on the teacher's desk behind you. I hope she heard that. And I will just send her a private chat. Just bear with us, everyone.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Did you put your phone on the teacher's desk?
And now they start to make music next door. Yes, I did.
Okay, great. And it looks like you will be with us. You're freezing again. Oh my Lord, this is terrible. Yep. You know what? I'm just going to start our presentation, Simone, because I have quite a number of slides to work through. Speaking from prior experience, it looks like the longer you stay connected, slowly the better the connection becomes. So let's just pray for that. So I will just add my presentation. Yeah, like I said, it's about the art of Sulawesi, and I'm covering a lot of different subjects. In the meantime, Simone will be trying to maintain her connection with us. And as usual, I will be going full screen. So that means that hi, Will. Nice of you to join us. And that means that I will not be able to see your comments as I'm playing my presentation full screen. So, but we will stop and check every 10 minutes or so in this presentation. So Let me just start, and you should be seeing this nicely in full screen, right? So the subjects I will be covering in this presentation is, first of all, I will go back to ancient history, just a very quick bird's eye view of Sulawesi's history all the way back to the prehistory. We're going to look at some of the ancient art for which Sulawesi is famous. After that, we're just going slowly forward in time. After that, we're going to look at some artifacts that are dotted around Sulawesi. And also, we will look at, as far as I could tell, the only archaeology site in North Sulawesi and some of the artifacts that they've dug up there. We're going to take a look at the slightly more modern art traditions of Sulawesi, in particular focusing a little bit, and again, it's a bird's eye view, but we're taking a look at the Minahasa, the Bugis, and the Toraja tradition, and those three are some of the more popular ethnicities in Sulawesi. The Minahasa, of course, being in North Sulawesi. And then we're going to more modern times. We're taking a look at some of the statues that you can find here in North Sulawesi of differing quality. And then finally, we're taking a look at some modern artists and their art that focuses on Sulawesi. Simon, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Nice, great.
And I was just writing something that you are running the show today, and that's good because my internet connection sucks. Yeah. So
hey, we're just helping each other.
It's all yours.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, feel free to interrupt for any questions, and with that, let's get started. So Sulawesi, it's the 11th largest island in the world, and the name Sulawesi actually consists of two words. First of all, it's believed that the word Sula comes from an ancient word for island, and Besi for metal. So apparently that's where the island got its name from. Metal Island. Sounds pretty cool to me. That, of course, has everything to do with the rich iron deposits that can be found here. And the Portuguese, and this is a name you've probably heard of before, the Portuguese called it Celebes, and also to some of the Dutch here, Sulawesi is also known as Celebes. But it's believed that that's simply the Portuguese pronunciation of the word, of the name Sulawesi. Another belief is that it's not just Celebes, not just the Portuguese way of pronouncing Sulawesi, but it can also mean os celebres, aka the famous ones. And that has everything to do with a lot of the pinnacles around the coastlines of Sulawesi, which was very dangerous for ancient seafarers, or in the 16th century, the coastlines of Sulawesi were infamous for wrecking ships, and that's another. It's not fact, but that's another way how the name got its, how the island got its name actually. So I thought that was very interesting. And then if we're just, again, bird's eye view of Sulawesi's prehistory, the island was first settled by modern humans around 30,000 years before Christ. Before that, humans had visited, but the first settlements were believed to have come from around that time period. And it actually acted as a land bridge between the main Asian continent and the rest of Australia and New Guinea as well. So before humans settled, Sulawesi was a bit more of a prehistorical highway, if you will, for tribes and nomadic peoples that were settling into Australia and New Guinea. And then if we fast forward a little bit through time, we're looking at 12,000 after Christ. Some of the peoples there, primarily the Bugis, which is one of the most predominant ethnicities in Sulawesi, they were warring amongst each other. There were a lot of little chiefdoms that were fighting each other over resources, etc., etc. So, most of history is bloody like that, but that's no different here on Sulawesi. And however, this stood out to me when I was researching this. During peacetime, the tribes would exchange women with each other. I thought that was quite a funny little detail. So I don't think that is in practice today, but that's how they did it back in the day. So that is just a quick overview of the prehistory of Sulawesi. Some of the earliest and more famous art traditions that Sulawesi is known for are, of course, the cave paintings. And it's actually argued that what we're looking at here is some of the world's oldest graffiti ever. So this could be the world's most ancient vandalism ever recorded in history. And apparently before, so in the previous slide, you know that humans first settled on Sulawesi around 30,000 years BC. But even earlier than that, people would, travel through Sulawesi and leave their mark on these cave walls, predominantly in South Sulawesi, which is also where you find most archaeological diggings. And specifically here in Maros. Hello, Linja. Wow, she's doing well. Anyway, so what people would do is they would hand make their own pigment with all kinds of herbs and some clay or whatever. They would make their own pigment, put their hand up against the wall, and then blow the pigment onto the cave wall, and then literally leave their mark for others to see. And this is believed to be some of the oldest graffiti, actually. It's not the oldest cave art by far, because that honor goes to a cave somewhere in the African continent. I don't know exactly where, but that is believed to be carbon dated back, or uranium dated back to 73,000 years ago before Christ. So that's a long, long time. But anyway, there you go. But there's a difference in just making a picture of your hand and trying to tell a story using art. And apparently, it's believed that in South Sulawesi, a 44,000-year-old depiction of a buffalo that's being hunted is first found here, and this is believed to be the oldest visual storytelling in the world. And I will just show you the bigger picture. You can see how beautiful it is. It's very rich. They found out that this painting, and there are many examples of cave paintings in Sulawesi, but this particular one is believed to be around 44,000
Are you
years
sure
old.
it's a buffalo?
Sorry?
Are you sure it's a buffalo? Did the description say it's a buffalo?
I didn't make it up.
Because actually, okay. Because the face also looks like a deer.
Yeah.
And deer are more common here than buffaloes.
It could be. I'm not.
It's a very fat deer if you're here.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic painting, especially if you consider how enormously old this is, how far back in time this goes. It's amazing to just see evidence of human creativity dating back so far. I'll go on to the next one.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. And then, of course, a logical step from cave paintings is to the discovery of artifacts around Sulawesi. Some of the more famous ones are actually these megaliths, which can be found around central Sulawesi. It's estimated they are estimated to be between 700 and 5,000 years old from now. So they are in varying states of decay. There are many different ones. In approximately 400 have been discovered so far, and only 30 of these represent a human form. And if you look at this particular one, you can see that it's very proud. I don't know. From what I can tell, this looks to be like a warrior. It has a very stern face, and then it holds its penis between its hands. to me, that just screams masculinity, of course. And yeah, it's no secret that in ancient times people ran around naked, and primarily the males, they would have no shame in displaying their parts to kind of compete with one another. So I'm just only guessing. I am not an archaeologist at all, but I'm only guessing that that's what this could represent. And there are also other forms of these megaliths. Some others are the kalamba, which are large pots. I've got a picture of that one coming up. And also tutuuna, which are large plates. But I found these large pots in the next picture to be quite striking as well. You can see how, I don't know, it's probably used to store rice or grains or something to that effect, I would guess. What do you think, Simone?
Yeah, cannibalism was was still present there, so maybe it's a cooking pot. No, just kidding. No, it's probably yes. So I think it's a storage pot. I think. Yeah. I can imagine a wooden lid, and they put their food inside, and to keep the animals out. Yeah, I can imagine that. No, it's not a cooking pot.
No, because then you would have to
cook.
Yeah, it would be quite difficult if you can't put a fire under it. But yeah, beautiful structures, absolutely amazing. I hope to visit that one day.
Okay.
And then, of course, if we're going a little bit closer to home, one of the things that we always love to take our guests pre-COVID times was the Varuga. And I will just cover these quickly. Some of you have done the Highland tour, and then we would always stop at one of these sites. The Varuga are they're actually a kind of sarcophagus, meaning like a coffin for dead, like an open air tomb. And the dead, they would bury their dead in it. They would be embalmed, a little bit like a mummy. And the dead would be sitting upright, facing north, because that's where the Minahasa believed that their ancestors came from the north. So that's why they were sitting upright, facing north. This practice was in use starting around the 9th century after Christ. However, the Dutch didn't like it. So this practice was banned in order to promote Christianity. Any of the animism and other, more hedonistic kind of religions were banned by the Dutch. Everybody had to become Christian, and so the practice was banned around 1828. Leave it to the colonizers to spoil all the fun. And the result of this, the partial result of this, is that North Sulawesi is now predominantly Christian. And the Varuga have been declared UNESCO World Heritage Sites, I believe, around the 90s. And you can visit these when you can travel us and visit us again. You can visit these in 3 main villages, in Raprap, in Air Madidi, and Sawangan, where we would be happy to take you. Let's just exit my full screen and see if there's any comments from people. Yeah.
I have a little bit of extra information about the Varugas. People were indeed buried with legs lifted and sitting like that, facing north. Interesting is that they were actually sitting on a big copper plate, and they were decorated with beads. And once the body was turned to ashes, they placed the next plate on it. So when they started to research these sarcophagus, they found stacks of plates with people's remains between the plates, and a lot of beads and things like that. There is a small museum in Armadidi. So if you guys can travel again and you want to go there, it's very small, very, very modest, but very interesting to see. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't actually, this is what I get for being an internet researcher. So I didn't know that, but that's fantastic. And yeah, I did know that they were buried with a lot of their belongings and a lot of jewelry and other valuable things, but all of that is long gone. They have been robbed clean. Anyway, let me just go back to this. Paul says he sent me a photo. He emailed me a picture, or you. Oh.
I mean, yeah. But
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay,
think you have to share your screen.
yes, I will share something else. I will just stop this share. Bear with me, guys, because this is quite funny. Palani Fon sent me a picture. Let's see. I just need to. I'm improvising here. Just a sec, ladies and gents. Bear with me. I know, we'll get to that. So here is, this is a while ago. This is from Paul and Yvonne. They sent me this picture.
Oh, wow.
So you
Very
can see
nice.
another
That's
large
a nice
pot.
spot.
Yeah. Big enough to
and it has
cook a
space
person. Yeah.
on it.
Absolutely lovely. So thanks for that. Wow. So Paul and Yvonne, you're on the show again. Nice. So thank you for emailing that. And yeah, I can recommend that, Philip, doing that for your decompression day, for your off-gassing day. So let me just go back to sharing my presentation. And that's slowly where you come in, Simone. Because now...
Oh, me?
Yes, because you brought a couple of things. We're going to talk about artifacts.
Yep.
Just a second.
Well, there is not a lot,
yeah? Well, first of all, let me just cover some archaeology, and then we'll get to you, because I think that ties in very nicely to that. So let me go full screen again. So as I said before, in Sulawesi, there's a lot of archaeological sites, but not so much in North Sulawesi. As a matter of fact, I could find only one online, and it's in a place called Mansiri, which is between Manado and Gorontalo, if I'm not mistaken. Pottery was first excavated from that site in 2011, so it's a fairly recent place. They found over 2,000 different pieces. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but only 1% of all this stuff was found to be decorated. That could be for varying reasons. Either people didn't bother to decorate, or it's because of the high acidity in the soil. That can also be a contributing factor to the lack of decoration. And most of this stuff was dated around 3000 before Christ. But yeah, you can see how beautiful it was decorated on the right. This is the only relevant picture that I could find online of North Sulawesi decorated pottery. Yeah, it was all kinds of colors, probably white and red, and then with these very striking red stripes and these circles. It was apparently a prevalent style of that era. So quite cool. And yeah, I will just stop sharing once again and give the screen to you, Simone, because you brought a couple of things. Can you, because this is going to be a little bit like tussen kunst en kitsch, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
2 items. Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
yeah,
let me start to say that the people from North Sulawesi, the Minahasa people, they don't really care much about art, not at all. They actually mainly care about music, which you can hear on my background, and a little bit of dancing. They like that too, and food, right? Food is very, very important here. So when you see something that needs decoration, it's a little bit rough and tough. It's nothing special. But if it comes to music, they're very inventive about making something like this. This is actually a seed pot from a tree on a piece of bamboo tied
Wow.
together with what we call tali utang. And then there is a small wooden bead, and it sounds like that.
Nice.
So I thought it, and there's also one that has two of those, makes more noise. So I thought that was very cute, and so I bought one just for the fun of it. And then I found the only statue uh, ever that I found in this region, and I bought that too. And as you can see, and we discussed as well, you clearly see the influence of the Portuguese,
Yeah.
and even the ponytail. But um, this is how the people dance, still dance, like in some of the traditional dancing, like Katrili and Ampatwaier. They still dance a little bit like this. Uh, so it's and you can also actually see a little bit of the Dutch influence, where you have the farmers dance. Uh, also looks a little bit like this. So yeah, so these are actually the only two artifacts that I could say that they are really from this region. Other than that, it could have come from anywhere. I also have a very tiny plate. I didn't want to bring it because I was scared that it would break, which was found in a sumur, in a well, digging a well. But I'm not sure whether that is from here or that it is already from it's very old as well. But yeah, uh, I'm not sure that it's.
Just give it a minute.
Thank you, Brecht.
Nice. Yeah, Simone, you were breaking up for me at least.
Yeah.
I hope it's better for everyone else. But so far, it seems to be going okay. And the Katrili dance was, of course, also performed by kids from the school, right, for our guests. And they were actually invited to join in.
Yes, and yes, and we will do it again, guys. Once it's okay and everybody can come again, then we will do it again.
Yes,
So
we will.
A little bit of the not so very present very hard here, so it's getting a little bit dark. But anyway, so yeah, that's all my contribution to art. I maybe I was half a year here, or maybe 1 year. An art gallery opened, and they had 15 paintings from one painter from the area, and the rest was from outside. And the art gallery lasted 4 months and then had to close because nobody came, actually.
Right.
I actually bought one of the paintings, but yeah.
Oh, you have it in your house?
The blue one in my house.
Oh,
yeah, the artistic one with the blue.
Yeah, with all the drips.
One, the very big one.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes, yeah.
Nice. Not good connection. Well, I'll give it a couple more seconds. And
interested in art, honestly.
Oh, yeah, Simone, every time your connection stops and then suddenly it catches up again. I could only hear you say interested in art. That's all I heard.
Yeah, they're not interested in art.
Oh, right, they're not.
At all.
Right. No.
They're interested in photos.
Yeah. Let me just continue with the rest, because I have a ton more stuff to show you guys. So once again, there's some stuff I want to talk about, like, for example, Sulawesi's art traditions. This harkens a little bit more to the more traditional, national dress and that kind of stuff, but also a few artifacts, such as the stuff that Simone just showed you. Here is a couple of pictures that I've taken from a website, and I didn't want to just steal everything from this website. Actually, I really think you should visit this website, because it is by far the richest, most informative site that I could find, that covers art and ancient and traditional art and artifacts from all over Sulawesi that I could find. On the left, for example, you see this big bracelet. Yes, it's a bracelet. It's very large. And then you see what looks like to be a kind of on the bottom right, you see what could be like a whole, an ornament for a key, for a keyhole, for a chest potentially. Some beautiful pots, and again the typical statues with their reproductive organs out. But it's a fantastic website, and I really did not want to cover all this one-on-one, because that would not be fair to them. This is the website. It's really, I can recommend it, Simone. You also take a visit. It's called artoftheancestors.com/Sulawesi. So if you want to know a little bit more.
A lot
Sorry?
is probably from Toraja, yeah? A lot is from Toraja, I guess. Yeah.
Correct. There's a lot from Toraja.
Beautiful things in Toraja. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found some beautiful art in Toraja.
Yeah. Yeah. So check that out and see if you can support them. They definitely deserve a visit for all the hard work that they've done. So that's why I didn't want to just steal their content. Anyway, with that out of the way, this is a picture that's not supposed to be here, but I just want to cover the ethnic groups and their traditions. There are the three, in my opinion, the three most popular ethnic groups on Sulawesi is, of course, in North Sulawesi, the Minahasa. Then you have the Toraja, famous for their coffee. The Toraja are historically, they're more of an hill people, if you will. They live more in the mountains. And then you have the Bugis. They are the biggest ethnic group, mostly in South Sulawesi and Central Sulawesi. And here you see some examples of three different styles of those three ethnic groups. On the left, you see typical Minahasa style of housing, which you can find in the village of Wanawang, Wanea, I think. Can you help me, Simone? Is that Wanea?
And was it neat?
Wanasa, I think. Wanasa, yeah. So on the left you see a typical Minahasa style house made out of wood, and in Wanasa you can actually order them completely by your own design, and they will send it to you anywhere. Top right you see typical Toraja style traditional housing, and then on the bottom right you see typical Bugis style housing. What's that?
Glenn says Bolowan.
Thank you, Glenn.
Glenn says Bolowan.
He's complete.
Thank you, Glenn.
See, we've been so long without guests. I forget this stuff already. Thank you very much, Glenn. And then on the bottom right, you see the Bugis, typical Bugis housing with the little horns on the rooftops. And all three of these, they look very distinct from each other. And that's on an island that, it's fairly large out here, but it just shows you how remote all these different areas are and still are by comparison, simply because of the rugged terrain in the center of the island.
Yeah, but Arjen, if you compare the location of the Bugis, for instance, in South Sulawesi and the Minahasa in North Sulawesi, people should realize it's a 1.5 hour flying time.
Yeah, exactly.
by airplane. I mean, that's huge. And Toraja is kind of in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And it's also nice that they have their own traditions. The Bugis are the shipbuilders. They are responsible for the Buganese schooners, actually.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just it's great to see all that cultural diversity.
Building.
Yeah, and also not just in the housing, but also if you look at the traditional dress, it's very distinct. On the left, you see traditional Minahasa warrior, aka the Chakalele warrior. It's a favorite outfit for people when it's time for a big celebration. People like to dress up for that occasion, and sometimes there are these little touristic areas where you can go on a picture with one of the warriors, and yeah, they look absolutely fearsome. I love the look of that. And I guess because of the predominant Christianity historically, you don't see a lot of traditional Minahasa style clothing the way that you see with the Toraja and the Bugis styles. On the top right, you see some Toraja people, and then on the bottom right, you see Bugis girls. Simon, what's your take on that in terms of traditional Minahasa clothing, except for the Chakalele?
Yeah, you have them together with the traditional dancing. There you get, but it's more sarong and kabaya. It's the traditional Indonesian dress. I don't think there's a specific kind of costume, but there is a specific kind of fabric called bentinan, and it has a special pattern that
Yeah, well, I apologize for the connection.
I don't think there is much.
No, exactly. So looking around on Google, it's very sparse. There's just not a lot here in North Sulawesi, but the Chakalele warrior on the left certainly makes up for that.
Bentinan?
Yeah, just a sec.
Bentinan.
Bentinan. Bentinan. Bentinan. See, this is why it's nice to have you with me. Oh yeah, I see exactly what you mean. So let me just again stop the share. I will just.
Sure, Glenn can give that.
Yeah. Let's see, Brave tab, Bentanan. So here's an example of Bentanan. Right? Looks very distinct.
Oh, wow.
Very beautiful. Look at that. I think that's fantastic.
There's a huge storm going on.
Oh, right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a special area.
Yeah. But yeah, indeed, there is not a whole lot, unfortunately, but you know, we the Manadonese and the Minahasa make up for that with a lot of partying and a lot of fun. So let me just continue.
And a lot of loud music.
I can barely hear it from here, by the way. So now we're coming to almost my final my
it's
final
loud
part.
And clear.
Yeah. So now we're coming to the almost the final leg of the presentation. I just want to talk to you take you through past a couple of statues and monuments that you can find here in North Sulawesi. This, of course, is the most famous one. It's the statue of the blessing of Christ. Excuse me, just need to get some water. It's
and it's huge, guys.
It's enormous.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's you start to wonder how they ever made it, because it is, I don't know. Do you know how tall it is? Are you?
I do, and that's I've got that in my slide.
It should be at least. Oh, good.
So they completed this statue in 2010, so it's not old. And just to give you a sense of scale, which I find very funny. So you see the statue, but if you look at the bottom, at the pedestal, you see a tiny little version of the same statue of Christ, just so that you have a more human perspective when you're standing in front of it, so that you can see what it looks like. So here's the full size. It's 50 meters high, and it's 30 meters for the Jesus statue itself and 20 meters for the pedestal that it's standing on. So there's your answer. And as a matter of fact, it's the second largest Jesus statue in Asia. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it's the 7th largest Jesus statue in the world. So it's quite large.
Where is where's the largest one?
I am not entirely sure.
In Asia.
I don't know. I don't know where the largest one in Asia is, because, you know, it's not in Manado. So who cares? And actually, I found this quite funny. This was an idea of a real estate developer. So for those who know Manado a little bit, this statue is near the entrance of Citraland, which is a kind of a posh neighborhood. Yep. With villas and, you know, more expensive housing. So I'm guessing the developer of that area kind of came up with this idea to erect this giant Jesus statue here. So there you go. And for those who, once again, usually if you go on the Highland tour, Philip and Dagmar, take notes. This is one stop that we take you on to photograph this spectacular flying statue of Jesus. Then, if you take a walk around Manado, yeah, you know, I have to mention these. They are not spectacular. They are not Michelangelo statues, but, you know, it is what it is. They do have historical significance. And near at Pasar 45, which is the old city center of Manado, near 0 Point, and this is close to the Jumbo supermarket, the very famous supermarket here, more like a convenience store. You can find this statue of troops, the Warang Battalion. This statue was inaugurated in May 1954. And it's, of course, it's an independence monument. It's to celebrate the independence of Indonesia from the Netherlands. And yeah, like I mentioned, it's at Pasar 45, the old center of Manado. Not very large. It's just, yeah, kind of hanging out there. And it provides a place for the traffic to go around. And if you see it, you take a picture and then you move on with your day, I guess. This one is a little bit more interesting. This is a statue of Lolong Lassot. Historically, this statue was built in 1987. And he is seen as the founding father, historically the founding father of Manado. Everybody, many people know about Walter Monksidi, but this guy, Walter Monksidi, was like, I believe, the first governor of Manado and North Sulawesi even. But this guy, Lolong Lassot, was the spiritual founding father of Manado, and he campaigned against the Portuguese. He organized a lot of warriors to fight against the Portuguese back in the days. He's also in Pasar 45. You can find
the
him
name
at the Taman.
Still...
Sorry, can you say that again, Simone?
The name Lassot is still very, very famous in Manado. There are many, many people. He has a huge family.
Yeah. So it's a real spiritual forefather of Manado. And if we've ever taken you on a city tour, if you've ever been with me, this is definitely a place I would like to take you, simply because it's the most park-like area that Manado has. So then you've probably seen the statue. And then if we leave Manado for a sec, I want to take you to Bitung. Bitung is, of course, the harbor town from which you go to Lembe. And here you find Bitung's very own Eiffel Tower. Yes, Bitung has an Eiffel Tower. It's nowhere near as high as the Eiffel Tower, but it's there. The reason it was studied there, it's there, is because the mayor of Bitung, he studied in Paris back when he was younger, and he fell so much in love with it. And by the time he became mayor of Bitung, he said, "You know what? I want my very own Eiffel Tower in Bitung." So they built this one 12 meter high.
Governor, it happens. Yeah.
Sorry?
And since he's the mayor, it just happens.
It
right?
just happens. Yeah. This is, of course, it's one of the more significant landmarks in Bitung City in terms of monuments. Then, of course, from Bitung we go to Lembe Island, and there we have the Trikora Monument. This was built in the late 80s. There are actually many monuments that commemorate Tricora, and I always thought, what is this Tricora? I did some digging, and it actually commemorates Operation Tricora, which was a military operation started by the Indonesians in the 60s to fight for Papua New Guinea against the Dutch, because in the 60s, after Indonesia declared independence, and they got it, the Dutch actually still held on to Papua New Guinea with the excuse that, but you can't have Papua New Guinea because it's ethnically too different from Indonesia. So we're just going to keep it. And then Suharto said, no, you're not. And so they started Operation Tricora. And the reason that this monument, and there are actually many monuments throughout Indonesia that commemorate Operation Tricora, but this one in particular was built on Lembe because Bitung was a very important harbor for all the Navy ships to launch their Tricora missions from. So, and then, set sail for Papua New Guinea. So I thought that was quite interesting, and I never knew this. I just thought Tricora is just the name of the place, but it's actually the name of the offensive launched against the Dutch back in the day. And then I have a mystery one for you, Simone, and I hope you can shed some light on this because I could not figure out about this one. This is near the city center of Manado. It's Ibu dan Anak. It's a statue of mother and child. I know that. I looked it up on Google Maps. Actually, I took this screenshot from Google Street View because I couldn't find anything online. Do you know anything about this statue?
She is also a very famous woman. Glenn, help us out here. For sure, you know.
It's maybe Axel knows.
Axel.
Yeah.
Axel, come on. She's called Nona something, and
Nona something.
Yes.
Okay, so on Google Maps it said
maybe she's the founder from a panti, from an orphanage or something like that.
Could be.
I don't know.
Be. Okay. So let's see what our local resident Indonesians can say about this. What I find ironic is that that Google blurred out the mother's face, but the child not. So anyway, let's see what they say. Let me just quickly take a look at a couple more comments here. Ingrid can't wait to visit Sulawesi. Can't wait to have you. Hi, Stephen. It looks like crisis base jumping. It's actually, from what I found out, Stephen, is that the Jesus in terms of a statue has two known configurations. One is the classical cross configuration, and the other one is the flying configuration with its arms stretched out in front of him. There is some significance to that. I don't know what exactly, but that's why he looks like he is base jumping. And yes, Stephen, you're absolutely right. Tricora is a fantastic dive site. I can really recommend you come and bring your group. You go and dive there again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know, Steve. Email is on the way. You will have it today.
Perfect. And hi, Anik. Good morning to you. Nice to have you with us. So with that, I will just continue with my presentation and go through the last leg. And I just, finding modern art online made in Sulawesi is very difficult. I couldn't find a lot of local Indonesian artists, so I had to cast a wider net. Here is a lovely painting of a Sulawesi girl made by a Mr. Brian Leverton. I believe the gentleman was born in the UK, moved to Australia, and in the UK he met with a student in, I believe, a university campus or something, and she offered to model for him, and so she did. So this is not a painting of a local Sulawesi girl, but it was painted in the UK or Australia, if I don't have my facts right. And and then he, sorry?
The decoration is from Toraja, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the girl stood modeled for him in the UK. So I thought it was funny, but I really like this painting, actually. I love the style. I think it's great. And yeah, it's just a random piece of Sulawesi art that I could find. This one is a little bit closer to home, Simone. This one is called the Sulawesi Sea Wolves. The Sulawesi Sea Wolves, aka the Orcas, made by an artist called BAS. I couldn't find his real name, his or her real name. I'm assuming it's a he. Yeah, just to show you the full painting, it looks like this. Lovely colors, the purple and the bright yellow, really great. And I can only assume this is Bunaken Island. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can have this hanging on my wall for sure. And then yeah, just you know, a couple of other things. If you look up Sulawesi art, here's a lovely painting done by a Svetlana Letneva Shukina. I don't know exactly where she's from, of a greater Sulawesi hornbill, and just look at how beautifully that was done. Great brushstrokes, beautiful lighting, nice bright colors. A little bit closer to home, I believe this is the only artist from Manado that I could find, a Mr. Ronnie Kenchem, and I found this on a website called Deviant Art, which is fantastic if you're interested in local artists. This one is called Kabasaran Minahasa Warrior. It looks very expressive, but I think it's I don't think it's done in traditional. Yeah, I love the style too, but I don't think it's done in traditional media. It's most likely done in Photoshop, but nonetheless, it looks great.
Yeah, and do you really think it's done by pen or something? The face, because it looks very much like a photograph as well.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's done in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Probably maybe based on a photo, but nonetheless, you know, it looks nice. I thought it was striking. I like the colors.
Yeah. Yes. Beautiful.
And then the final piece of art that I could find is this tiny, very charming little painting of a Sulawesi Harlequin shrimp done by a Mr. Nick Meyer. Yeah, very very delicate, very cool. And that's my presentation.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, you did a fantastic job, guys. Really, it's all Arjen's show today. He did the whole presentation. He prepared everything, and I personally I loved it because actually I saw some things and I heard some things I didn't know yet. Even I'm here for almost 25 years. So yeah, fantastic job. Thank you very much, Arjen.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for hanging in there with us. Christine, selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi. And then, Glenn,
yeah.
From Nyonya Valanda Maramis.
So just going back to the flying Jesus configuration, Josine is asking, maybe it means Jesus is going to heaven? Probably like an ascension. That could be true. So yeah, the Patung Valanda Maramis. Oh, Maramis is also very familiar.
Very familiar name, yeah.
And thank you, Siep. Very impressive research. Oh, guys, stop. You're welcome. I'm glad we could Sorry.
Don't start walking next to your shoes. So.
Never. No. I'm happy that people like it. Marion Lisa says oliepresentatie. That's interesting. It means oil presentation. So
oil
and here we have someone who has not been with us before. Sissy, hello. She says, I love your Tolasa resorts. Hello, I hope to come back one day. Hello, Sissy.
She
hello.
will be. Sissy is from the French group, from Stephen.
Oh, hello, Sissy. We hope to welcome you sooner rather than later, indeed. And thank you guys for enjoying it. I'm glad you liked it.
And then, so yeah, tomorrow we will be in Lembe.
Yep. Which is part of the reason why I'm here. So.
Yep, we will be diving the whole day and make some footage of the other Lembe.
Yep.
So we can update you from what is going on there. And for sure, we will have a very nice presentation next week again. And
a lot of video.
Yes, a lot of video. And we will have a very short update of how the building processes are developing, because everybody is very, very busy building. And just a tip of the veil, but Monday, the jacuzzi will be, how do you call it? Will be made. The concrete tub will be made on Monday. So they prepared it yesterday and today. And piping, everything, the electricity, everything is in place. And so yeah, it goes very fast. I guess by the end of next week, the pool will be nearly finished, and maybe even the jacuzzi will be finished. So you will get an update. The ceiling, the roof of the restaurant is closed. They're very busy making the ceiling. The dive center is in full swing. The floor has been made and the toilets erected. There's a water tank erected. So yeah, everything goes very, very fast. And the ladies have cleaned the grounds a little bit too enthusiastic, to my opinion, but yeah, there's a lot of progress in just 1 week, and we will show you a little bit of that next week. Yeah, we are working very hard. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to control 4 projects at the same time. It's a tough, but it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the progress, and everybody is happy actually making something instead
Yeah.
of focusing on the negative.
Yeah, there's more than enough terrible things going on anyway, so it's better to just keep moving forward, and the sooner we get that done. And this is why, actually, before you managed to join us, Simone, I was asking, hey, did everybody get their shot yet? And I think by the vast majority of everyone watching, they said, yes, we got it. So that's great news. I'm happy that things are moving in the right direction, right? Yeah, and we are getting our second shot soon. Yeah.
On the 21st, yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
That's an hour with
That's it.
with us, with you, Simone, and with myself. That's a
Yes.
wrap. This was number 57 already.
Oh, guys, we keep on doing this, you know. We will keep on doing this, and
we're not going to stop.
And we are so terribly happy that we have all of you watching us all the time. That is really so inspiring.
It really is, and
thank you.
It sounds like we are a broken record, right? But this is a huge reason that you who is watching us right now are a huge reason why we're doing this. And it's nice to have you with us every week. So, tot volgend jaar in Maras. See you next year in Maras, Glenn says. Glenn sent me a bunch of very nice pictures of his place. I will forward them to you, Simone.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid.
We will see Ingrid.
Yeah. All right. Time flew by once again.
Have a nice weekend, everybody.
For sure. And we will see you again next week. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Stay sane.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. See you.
Bye. See you.